Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the police and they why they're bad and why they're not bad. And first off, I got to say is you can't lump all police into this category. The vast majority of people who are police officers get into it for the right reasons. They get into it because they want to help people. They want to be a force of good. Um, they want to They want to stop bad guys and girls, and they want to save kids. They want to do all that stuff. But the issue with the police is that they work for the government, and there's all different levels. There's municipal, state, or like departmental or provincial, and then federal. And what you have to understand is it's a giant bureaucracy. So a police officer, I mean, they have to spend at least half of their time doing shit that they don't want to do. Paperwork, um, going to court. I don't know all the stuff because I'm not a police officer, but these are just a few things I picked up. And they end up doing the good stuff, the stuff that they should be doing, protecting people's rights, protecting people's property, helping children, all this shit. But they get bogged down in bureaucracy. Um, when you have these big nation states, you have to have sweeping rules for everyone. Like for example, in the European Union, they have to have the same rules that they have for, let's say, France and Bulgaria. Is Bulgaria in the European Union? Romania. We'll say Romania. Um, and as you and I both know, Romania and France are two extremely different countries. And for you to have the same rules in both countries, you're going to have different outcomes. But here's the thing about the government, they want the same outcome for everyone. They want that egalitarian, you know, no one left behind, fucking no, everyone's equal, all this shit. And they use the police to enforce it. So what do I mean? I'll give you an example. Police officers spend a lot of time giving out tickets, and that's to drum up tax dollars for budget deficits because of this inflationary fiat currency system we have. Now, how many police officers know that? Probably not too many. Most police officers, nowadays at least, they're looking for job security. So they want their fucking paycheck and they want their pension. But here's the thing, the pension's not going to be there. It's going to be valueless when it comes time to collect it. And like first off, we need to get rid of this pension system. Um, paying you people should be paid for the work that they do, not for spending 25 years in a job. It really incentivizes the wrong type of person into the job. And it turns people who used to do it for the right reasons, but now they've committed, let's say, 8 years of their life, so they're pretty much halfway to a pension. So they're like, oh, I'll just stick it out. Even though it's a really hard job and it takes a lot out of you. Whereas if you didn't have the pensions but you paid people more, they would do it for the 3, 4, 5, 6 years and get out when they wanted to. Um, people people are they they find that security in that paycheck and pension, and then it ends up corrupting them, and they end up doing things that they wouldn't want to do. For instance, you're a cop, you're doing your thing, you're fucking kicking doors in and getting the bad guy, and you get a new chain of command. So this new chief comes in and he's gonna show you how it's done. He believes in gender equality. He or she, because women can be police chiefs too. But now they implement all these hiring decisions. And here's another really fucked up thing about the police: they are hiring people based on their genetic characteristics. What do I mean? They will hire visible minorities just because they're visible minorities. They will hire women just because they're women. And you need to hire the best person for the job. But now you have an epidemic where the good guys are leaving because they get bogged down by the shitty guys who are just there for a pension, who aren't pulling their weight. They show up to the calls last. They are just collecting a paycheck. They are collecting a fucking paycheck. And government jobs really incentivize that. So when you're dealing with a police officer and you're looking at that individual officer, you know, he's trapped in this system where he wants to do the right thing. He wants to do the right thing and carry a fucking gun. There's lots of people in this world who want to carry guns, and you know what? I'm one of them. And there's a lot of people who are willing to sign their life away just to have a job where they can carry a gun. And maybe they're not so aware of this bullshit government system that we have, and they are sitting on the side of the highway writing these tickets, fucking stealing from people. Like when why the fuck are the police enforcing that shit? If someone is driving dangerously where it could put someone's life in danger or life in jeopardy, okay, all right, give the ticket. That's fine. But when they're just collecting tax revenue, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a waste of their time. It's a waste of your time. If you get a ticket for going 10 kilometers or 10 miles over the speed limit, you're losing time. You're losing time in your life, and you're losing money. Um, you're wasting the court's time if you decide to fight it. You're you're just getting fucked every which way, man. And these police officers are getting fucked. And we need to get back to a system where there's there's more accountability. You know, I'll give you an example. In Canada, the RCMP polices a lot of the rural areas. But Canada is a very big country, and what a lot of people don't realize is that it should it's there's a big difference between the East and the West. And so you have people from Quebec and Ontario making decisions for Alberta and Saskatchewan. And the RCMP are enforcing it. But when you're just living in buttfuck nowhere in the north of Alberta in a rig town and you have federal police officers from the east dictating policy, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between the people and the police. You need to have the police closer to the people. A good example is back in the day in the United States, you would have a sheriff in a town, and then you'd have all the members of the town with their firearms, and that's the way it should be. We should have you should be open to own firearms, and there should be a lot less police. We have an overbloated police where we're in this nanny state, and they're making decisions for everyone, and it's fucking bullshit. The government is making decisions, enforcing it through the police, and the police are sitting there like, oh, I guess we have to do it. I've already spent 20 years in this job. I'm not going to give up my pension just to speak out on this one little issue. But it's an inch. Every time it's an inch, it's an inch, it's an inch, it's an inch. And before you know it, you have a bunch of, oh, and the people who speak up get kicked out. They get fired. They get whatever. And they end up with all the corrupt cops, all the socialists, all the commies, all the people that are like, it's good enough. I don't care. I don't care who I affect. I don't give a fuck about Joe Blow. But what they don't understand is that the police work for us. And we need good, motivated people carrying guns and mace and all this shit, making decisions where people's lives hang in the balance. You don't want a bunch of commies and a bunch of, gender identifying people in charge of all the firearms, right? So we need to make a change. We need to do this. We need to speak up, and we need to let the police, because if the majority stays silent, the police will never know. The police only know when fucking Karens and these gender fucking fluid communists are screaming in the streets of the United States, or Karens are calling them on the fucking phone. Why don't you do this? Why don't you enforce this fucking bullshit? There is some shit that the cops enforce that they shouldn't. And it's fucking bullshit. You need to speak up and let them know that the majority is not happy with the way things are. And, yes, support the individual police officers who are putting their lives on the line. But fuck the bureaucracy. Fuck the bureaucracy of these overinflated government agencies. We should be in charge of policing ourselves. That's what the Second Amendment was for. We need, because you care what happens in your community. That police officer from, like, let's say you're in Miami and the police officer is like a federal ATF agent from fucking, I don't know, like Oregon. He's not gonna give a fuck about Miami. He's a different culture. Like, the culture of Oregon is so different from the culture of Miami. Miami is like this half Latin, half American, you know, fucking city, and there's just a disconnect. There's a disconnect between the police and the people, and what people don't realize is that in these big groups and bureaucracies, it piles up, and if people try to get in and try to make a difference, but they get fucked up and they get kicked out, and it's a tough situation. So that's my spiel for today. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'll catch you later.